Is it even possible to like survive or live or thrive in the society while being a good person? And the reason I ask that is because it seems like so many people, so much is happening, especially if you're just in living in the online space where there are cheaters, there are scammers, there are grifters, there are actual supervillains, as we see with like half of the billionaires, them being like pedos or rapists or cannibals or all sorts of crazy shit. Quite a start to a video, I know. But is it even possible to make it or be successful or be fulfilled in life while being a good person? I still say yes. Maybe it is blind optimism, once again. Maybe it is hope along the lines, but it seems like it's getting harder and harder consistently, day by day, to actually be a good person and stay as a good person. And let's define good person in the first place. Somebody who doesn't do any of the things that I just listed, very obvious. Somebody who obviously doesn't do crimes, but somebody who can genuinely be caring and welcoming to friends and to new people that they might come across in their life. Because when I also add to that, obvious, besides the very obvious don't do crime shit, is just being welcoming to people. It's very hard to like engage in conversations, smile at people nowadays when the world seems grim and darker than it usually is, either because it is becoming darker and darker or we're just becoming more aware of the shit that's happening and all the injustices. But even walking around having your headphones on, not wanting to interact with anybody or give anybody the time of day to hopefully brighten it, or, you know, hopefully you're avoiding people just selling you some shit. I don't necessarily know. It just seems harder to be able to connect with anybody now. And I mentioned connection because I think that's the main point of success or the main point of fulfillment. We're not supposed to be alone. We're not supposed to be isolated from each other. We're supposed to be community building. We're supposed to be in camaraderie with each other. I mean, you see it in the most fulfilled and happiest of people, but you also see it in the richest of people too. Even if you don't like them, they have a community. They talk to each other. They utilize each other's resources to be able to be successful. Community is the main thing or the main point of fulfillment slash success. And I think that there is a way to be able to establish that sort of community. But I think at the same time, you're going to have to be willing to take either a bit of struggle or pain because of it. Because in order to find that sort of good community with good, like minded people, it's going to be a hard thing, but it is also going to be one of those things where it's going to be trial and error with other types of relationships with people. As well as the fact that it's getting harder day by day to not engage with those sorts of negative things, whether it's grifters, whether it's trolls, whether it's scammers, all that sort of stuff. It's harder to avoid people who are going to cheat you out of life by whatever means necessary or just use you as a stepping stone towards their success. I think the stepping stone towards that sort of stuff is to at least just start small with your interactions with people. Try and brighten their days. It doesn't have to be anything large, but I think one thing that's helping me with at least like hope core type of content is the fact that there are people that are taking very tiny steps and very short interactions with other people to hopefully brighten their day. It could be the cliches as like buying the coffee of the person behind you or the order of the person behind you. Maybe that's a little much. Maybe it's not financial, but it could be paying somebody a compliment. Not every sort of engagement with a person needs to lead to a conversation or a fulfilling friendship or relationship. You can easily have a passerby comment that brightens someone's day. Compliment somebody's outfit, compliment their hair, compliment the glasses that they might be wearing or their shoes. Even so much as just a nod and a hello, which I'm noticing is dwindling in comparison, it helps, I think. To those closest to you, try and listen closely and actually be a good listener because we are in a society where more people like to talk than actually listen. I think one big thing that I've noticed is that I feel like I've been a worse person than how I used to be. And maybe that was because of the naivete of like childhood and approaching the world with more wholesome intents than what anybody usually would. And then eventually being exposed to the actual reality of adulthood and society later in life has made me into a more grim or darker person. But I still try to take that approach regardless. This is actually funny enough why I love Spider-Man as a hero. This guy goes through shit time and time again, but at the end of the day realizes his responsibility to the people around him. I think the most important thing to be able to do this is, first of all, clarify what good actually means, and then lead with some sort of purposeful action or intent. Whether small or big, it doesn't require anything grandiose. You don't need to pull a Mr. Beast, but at least just put in a little more effort into changing stuff for the better, even if it's a little bit of out of your comfort zone. Because with exposure and repetition, that's going to be a lot less nerve wracking. From there, focus on what makes you feel good. Hopefully, what made the other person that you might have affected feel good, but also what makes you feel better. Then from there, just repeat the process. It's all a learning thing at the end of the day. Leave.